Hi everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in Kent. And today, on this beautiful gray, cold day, all of a sudden, we are trying British coffee chains. The idea is we're gonna go to as many coffee chains as we can this morning, and we are going to try them all, and then probably puke in a bush. Please ignore the hair. It is bright and early. The birds. It has been literally so nice here in Kent the last couple of weeks. Oh wow, they're really going for it. All right, you've made your point. It has been so nice here in Kent, and I thought, wouldn't this be a nice little morning trip? And then I am in my winter coat. It is so cold, but maybe that's good for a coffee taste test. For this experiment, I like coffee with milk. Not really a sugar lady, maybe a pump of vanilla syrup, if you don't mind. But for the sake of this experiment, I'm just going to do lattes. And we are going to do regular full caffeine, not decaf, because sometimes places have really good caffeinated stuff and decaf sucks. Does that make sense? I'm acting like this is a real experiment. None of this matters. We are just out here and I want to try some coffee. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say. Hope you guys are doing well. I am actually, so I've lived in England for almost 10 years now, but I don't normally get coffee from the chains. So this is gonna be like brand new to me. If I am going out to a coffee shop, I usually try to go to someplace independent because I want them to survive, do you know what I mean? And I don't normally go out to a cafe like that much. So none of these I'm really familiar with. We are going to just try as much as we can. Obviously, I don't have access to every British chain. We are here in Canterbury today because I think there's enough here. You know, there's a lot. It's a city, a small city, but a city nonetheless. But if you have a favorite British coffee chain, leave a comment down below. I'd love to try it if we don't try it today. I'm not actually sure what's here, but I'm sure there's some, right? We'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks for clicking on this video. Hope you're having a nice day. And let's begin, shall we? Ooh, what's gonna be the first one? Okay, so first up is Costa. Now, I would say out of all the chains, Costa is probably the most familiar, like I am the most familiar with. I have to have had Costa before, although sometimes when I go to those chains, I get something like weird. So I don't get their classic latte, which was what I got today. And I will just say, I was so surprised. There's this young girl, so Canterbury is a university city. There's loads of universities here, so there's loads of students. And there's this young, like, university student. And so I ordered, and she's like, so what do you got planned for today? And I'm like, shopping. It's like, oh, right then, you looking for anything in particular? And I was like, oh my God. I can't remember the last time when like a barista has like sparked up a conversation. Maybe that's really common in the north, but down here, not so much. So that girl's never gonna see this, but if she does, 10 out of 10 service. That's what we should come up with a ranking. Coffee, maybe cost, and service. So Costa so far, 10 out of 10 service. Now the quality could be dependent on which barista you get that day. Anyway, I've been talking too much. Cheers. Get the hair out of my mouth. Not great. I wouldn't say that I'm a coffee snob by any means, but it's just not the nicest flavor, and it is a lot of milk. Now, it is a latte, obviously, so that we need some milk, but there's a lot. It's okay. I think it's hard to compare because this is our first one. We'll have to compare them all properly at the end, but so far this is like not great, not terrible. I've had worse. There's actually a place here in Canterbury that I had a while back, and it was one of the worst coffees I've ever had. And it wasn't a chain, so there's that. And also, when I left the house, my partner texted me and was like, hey, you left your hair tie at home. Great, so now I'm probably gonna need to buy one because it is so windy today. Anyway, this is Costa. It's fine. Not the worst, certainly not the best. But I just had a look at my phone, and this small Costa latte was $3.70. Just like, is that expensive? Because that feels kind of expensive to me, but we'll see. Comparison, we will see. All right, we are going to say goodbye to Costa, and we are going to our next spot, number 2. I wasn't going to include them originally, but I think I'm going to do it because we're here, right? And when I went to Costa, there is an M&S cafe. Now, technically, is that a British coffee chain? Well, it's a British store, and they sell coffee. So that I've just decided. Number 2, we're going to do M&S cafe. I don't think I've ever had an M&S coffee. Anyway, no more talking. Let's go. Okay, so Marks and Spencer Cafe. Again, the barista was so nice. Like, maybe I'm just like starved for attention or something, but she was really sweet. They don't do smalls. So this is a regular, decent size for a regular. This was cheaper than a Costa small. This was $3.60, which I actually find so surprising because Marks and Spencer is like the bougie place, right? The expensive place. Their regular size latte is cheaper than a small Costa. I am shocked. Now I found like a kind of secluded area. I hate filming in front of people. I've walked all this way. Let's try it. That's a good latte. It's milky without being too milky. It tastes like coffee without being too bitter. This is really good. So in terms of customer service, 10 out of 10. She was really nice. They were really speedy. Cost, I am really impressed the fact that it's cheaper than Costa. But again, this is only stop number 2, so we'll have to see how it compares at the end. Out of the 2 so far, this is far better. Why would I go to Costa when the M&S cafe across the road is like far superior and cheaper? Make it make sense. But yeah, it tastes like a good latte. Not anything like crazy exciting, not anything like, whoa, just tastes like a good latte. And I like the blue, the teal sort of seafoam blue because I'm a child and colors impress me. Anywho, what else is there to say? Better than Costa, cheaper than Costa. So this has been the M&S. Now technically it says roast and ritual crafted by M&S Food. Wonder what that was. Tasty. All right, well, that has been M&S. Let's go back this way, actually. There's more this way. And go to stop number 3. I hope I reach your favorite, and if I don't, please leave a comment. If I've missed one, leave a comment. Obviously, Canterbury has a lot, but it doesn't have everything, so let me know what I've missed. But the caffeine is starting to hit. Okay, so stop number 3, Pret. Now, don't let the name confuse you, because did you know Pret was founded in London in the 80s? Because I didn't until right now when I Googled it. So our barista was a young guy, seemed nice enough, kind of annoyed to be there, and you know what? Fair, I would be too, but still nice, and he made the coffee crazy fast, so I'm gonna give the service 10 out of 10. Now, they only had this size, this like regular size, I would say comparable to Marks and Spencer, and this was the same cost as the Costa small. So Costa is still the most expensive. This was $3.70. Although, how big was the Costa? I'm having a hard time remembering the sizes. Anyway, cheers to Pret. Nice. I would say this is on par with Marks and Spencer, maybe a little bit better. Definitely Costa is still the worst. This is nice. Milky, not too milky. So in terms of ranking, there's so many birds here, I'm afraid I'm gonna get pooped on. Every time I go out, it's always me. Anyway, what was I saying? The caffeine. This is tasty, it was quick, the guy was nice. $3.70, comparable, tastes better than Costa. And Prets are everywhere, so it's like fairly easy to get. Do you know what I mean? yeah, pleasantly happy with that. Today's been a good day. I hope the audio is okay. It is a city. I've been trying to find like quiet little places to film for your enjoyment, but also so less people will look at me. Anyway, this has been Pret. Tasty, comparable price. I think I've already said all that. What else is there to say? This is good. Costa is still by far the worst, but the nicest girly, so swings and roundabouts. Anyway, our next one, I think I've just passed. It is another big chain, and I'll tell you what, I've been in a Cafe Nero maybe twice. So I have absolutely no idea what Cafe Neros are like. Maybe even once, if we're gonna be honest. Anyway, this has been Pret. Cafe Nero is next. And I'm curious. Okay, so stop what I believe to be number 4, Cafe Nero. Now, this is the first time that a coffee shop has asked if I want better beans. So I said, hell yeah. And for the sake of this comparison, that was probably the wrong choice, but it's the first cafe that was like, we have these special single origin beans for spring or whatever. Would you like to upgrade to use those beans? And yeah, in the moment, I was really excited and I said yes. Probably shouldn't, but it's too late now. I've already done it. So with the specialty beans, it was $3.95. So definitely the most expensive, close to 4 pounds for a latte, which, you know, is a lot. If you just wanted their regular coffee blend or whatever, it's $3.65. So still comparable with everything else, even cheaper than Costa. And they do regulars or large, so no small. So far, Costa's been the only one that's done small. Although I said small, but maybe they didn't have small, so they just gave me regular. That is a real possibility. In terms of service, the girl was nice. There's 2 baristas. They kind of looked bored and like tired of being there, which again, I can't reprimand because I would be tired and bored of dealing with the public too. And finally, I hope this mic is on. Really interesting building, like a historic building, kind of a little rough around the edges, but in a really beautiful building. Anyway, cheers, Cafe Nero, specialty beans. That's loud, hold on. Maybe it tastes a bit more bitter than the other ones, but that could just be because like the beans are different and I have a palate of a child. It's hard to say. But tasty. Now, is it worth 4 pounds? To me, no. If you are really like into coffee, you're like, oh yeah, the single origin Colombian beans, yes, Cafe Nero. I'm just like, does it taste good? So it's a little bit lost on me. It's not bad though. I think it's just like, I know my own tastes. Costa was bad. This is just not to my taste. Does that make sense? But that's more of a me problem than a Cafe Nero problem. But so far, all of the coffees have been comparable. Costa's is still, can you hear that? Don't they know I'm trying to film right now and they're doing construction? Costa has been the worst by far. All the other ones have been comparable prices as well. I've got the hiccups and the caffeine is coursing through my veins. Single origin Cafe Nero, if you're into that kind of thing, I think is quite nice, but it's not really to my taste. It's a bit bitter. Maybe like a bit of sugar probably would help, but I don't normally put sugar in them anyway. So this is stop number 4. I hope this video is something good. Are you having a good time? I'm having a great time. Now, where do we go from here? There is a place that does coffees. It's not the main thing that they do, but I've always been curious because people have talked about it before. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna be a surprise. Well, the next shot, you're gonna see what it is. But this is the one I'm most excited about. Anyway, this has been Cafe Nero. Fine, good, I guess. Not to my tastes, but comparable to all the others. But anyway, on to stop number 5. You guys, I can't believe it. I am shocked and heartbroken. Greg's, which has been in Canterbury for as long as I can remember, is shut. Why? Looks like they kind of refurbished it maybe, but it's not open yet, and I can't believe it. I am so sad. And I just had a look. There's no other Greg's in Canterbury City Center. There's one kind of like on the outskirts that I can't get to. So I am devastated and angry. But so many people have told me that Greg's actually has good coffee. So I wanted to see, but I guess not today. So at this point, I feel like those are the main ones. Maybe I'll have a walk around to see if anything stands out in terms of chains. However, there is one that I think will upset people, but I'm kind of thinking we should do it. Now that Greg's isn't open, I'm miffed. That's what they say, don't they? There are 2 Starbuckses in Canterbury, and I kind of feel like maybe we should just do it. I know it's not British, but it is a coffee chain, and maybe it would be a nice comparison. I'm gonna do it. Why not? I'm here anyway. All right, everyone, we are here. Starbucks. Conveniently shoved between 2 repair shops. Welcome to a high street in England. Cheers. It tastes great. This is by far the most expensive, $3.85. So comparable to the Cafe Nero with the specialty like beans, this is just a regular latte, tall, which is technically their smallest size, but this is not really small. Do you know what I mean? I've never gone to Starbucks and just got a plain latte. The fun thing, like when I go to Starbucks, you can get like weird stuff. You can get like shots of things, and that's normally what I get. Because you don't really get the option necessarily at other places, I take advantage of it at Starbucks. So this is the first time I've ever had just like a plain latte. And he's like, do you want any shots? Do you want any like special milk? And I'm like, no, just regular. So it feels kind of like a waste to just get something plain, but it is tasty. And to be fair, it's comparable with Pret, it's comparable with Marks and Spencer, and it's more expensive. Cheers. The service was nice, the guy was nice. He showed me the cup and he's like, I tried to do some art on there, but I didn't do a very good job, and like put the lid on. I was like, you know, it's fine. But so far all of the service here has been pretty nice. The only kind of like, I guess comparable to all the other ones, Cafe Nero, they were not as nice. Does it really matter? Customer service in Canada and the UK is very different. A lot of British people say they hate customer service in North America because it's like really fake. Sure, to some extent, but when you go someplace and you spend money, you want to feel like you're not a burden. And I will say all of these places have been very nice. Cafe Nero, if I had to pick, is the only one that would be the worst, but not by much. So cheers. The caffeine, I am gonna crash. It's like 11:30. By 2 o'clock, I'm gonna be dead. I'm so disappointed that Greg's isn't open. I didn't realize, obviously, when I got here, but that'll just have to be for another time. But if you've had Greg's coffee, can you describe what it tastes like? Okay, I think these are all of the major chains in Canterbury. Canterbury is wonderful in that they have so many independent coffee shops. Uh-oh, it's hitting. They have so many wonderful coffee shops and independent places. So this is actually kind of fun to go to the ones that I always walk past but like never go in. Except Starbucks. I can admit that I do like a cheeky Starbucks now and again. All right, so sue me. But with that, I will meet you guys at home. And to finish this off, let's sit down and rank once and for all these British coffee chains plus one American. Let's do that. I'll meet you guys at home after I have a nap. All right, everyone, welcome in. Have a seat. Now, I've had some time to think about these coffees. The caffeine, wow. Right off the bat, something that I was so shocked. So I made this little tier list. Something that was so surprising to me is Costa. Literally don't bother. I was so surprised at how bad that was. Now, there was some confusion because Costa seemingly was the only place that offered small. And then afterwards, I thought, maybe I said small, but they just gave me a regular. Like, maybe I got that wrong. But looking at the menu online, they do list small. So from that, I'm going to assume, and maybe Alanna editing this video is going to find out something else, the Costa small was really a small, and it is comparable in price to all of the other ones, which is wild considering the Costa taste was the worst. We're doing hard-hitting journalism right now. Anyway, the big surprise for me was the M&S was so good, and I never would have considered going to M&S for a coffee, but now I absolutely will. I'm gonna say the Cafe Nero was meh. That is a personal preference. I think the bitterness is due to the fancy beans, and apparently I don't really like fancy beans. So, but I do like that you have the option to try different beans. I didn't get that option at any of the other places. I'm gonna say Starbucks. I know, not British. I know, I'm still upset about the Greg's thing. I think Starbucks was pretty nice. Now, would I go to Starbucks for a plain latte? No. If I'm going to Starbucks, I'm getting like shots of all sorts of weird artificial flavors because Starbucks has all those, and it's just so much fun to try. But for the sake of just a plain latte, M&S was much better and it was cheaper. Now, Pret, I was actually really surprised by Pret. I don't know. I don't have like the highest opinion on Pret coffee. I thought it was all just like a bit meh. But doing this little experiment, Pret was really good. I would say M&S and Pret were very comparable, and depending where I am, you know, when I'm out and about and I want a latte, I would be very happy with either of those. So that has been my coffee chain taste test. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I had really fun making this something a little bit different. And if you've lasted this far in the video, honestly, thank you. If you have another experiment that we could do where we try, I don't know exactly, but if you have an idea, let me know. Like, maybe like chain something. This doesn't make sense, but if you've got an idea for a video like this, but not coffee, please let me know, because I had so much fun. I want to do it again, but I don't know with what. If you would like to watch another adventure, how about this one? I went to the Tower of London. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!